Alright guys, we're back, and today we have the next figure in the Disney Plus wave, the Scarlet Witch. And what's exciting is it says Scarlet Witch on the bottom, man. It's just like, to see that in the MCU, her actually be referred to as the Scarlet Witch is just so exciting, because it means mutants are getting closer. But, anyways, looks very good. Looking at the box, you can see the figure inside looks pretty freaking incredible. You get another piece of the wing in there, nice plastic window on the top. You get a little Scarlet Witch emblem, which is literally just her face. Some cool design though. Scarlet Witch, WandaVision, Disney Plus. If you want the barcode, there's the barcode on the sides. It's the same art on both sides of Elizabeth Olsen. On the back, same exact art. And if you want to read that, there is right there. One of Maximoff's abilities with telekinesis, energy manipulation, and neuroelectric interfacing allow her to read thoughts and give her targets waking nightmares. The bottom, you can see the rest of the figures in the wave and the Build-A-Figure. I just want to say on the back here, you can see all the lines that are really reminiscent of the overall style of the WandaVision TV show. And I love that kind of detailing that Hasbro does. The packaging looks phenomenal. So looking at this again, you get another piece of Falcon's wing. Excited to build that. Looks like we don't get too many accessories, but the accessories we do get are very cool because in the show, oh my gosh, they're taped in there. But it looks like we can kind of cheat the tape if we bend those fingers just a little bit. In the show, her fingers are all like freaking cryptic and creepy and shit. And it looks like they were really attempting to do that. And I'd say it's pretty good. I don't know if a person's finger can point like that, but I mean, you're bound to have a little bit of warping plastic. Either way, it looks very dope and creepy, as it should. So first things first, again, you get some of those creepy ass hands, which are pretty much the same exact hands you get that are translucent here, except they're not translucent. They're literally, I believe, like almost exactly the same. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong side. I'm a dipshit. Okay. It looks like they're pretty much the same. But either way, these hands are sculpted very nicely. Some interesting articulation, as you can see. I would have expected it to be like a boop, 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 but it's more like a boop, boop. So that's kind of cool. I do dig that. And the other hand is the opposite. So very, very nice. But again, we do get more of these kind of flimsy, soft plastic magic pieces that are just extra effects. And again, back in the early days of Marvel Legends collecting, in the early Hasbro days, seeing accessories like this was just phenomenal. So I'm not even going to harp on these. I don't think they're spectacular by any means, but I definitely appreciate the fact that we do get these, because they do look pretty cool. If you pose them just right, they look pretty dope. Straight out of the box, meh, they're okay. And honestly, I don't even think there's really necessarily a right way to put them on. Just have fun with them. You can do lots of sorts of things with them. And here you can see the translucent pinkish red hands. And God, dude, those look so cool, these accessories. Damn, did they just nail it. You can see too, you can see all the detailing on her fingers. So I get this damn camera to focus. Oh gosh. There you go. You can see you got all kinds of detailing in there. That's just so great. Ooh, does anyone see that fruit fly? Because I definitely do. Gross. But it looks pretty damn good. I'm digging it. And again, it's the same articulation as the other hands. The only thing I think this figure is lacking in accessories that I think would be great. And I mean, if we ever get an Agatha figure, I bet we'll get one of these. The Darkhold would be cool to see. I'm sure if we get an Agatha figure, she'll have the Darkhold, so I'm excited for that. And then, remember when she gets the life sucked out of her by Agatha, sucking the life force out of the magic or whatever, and her hand gets all zombie-like? Would have been cool to get one of those, man. Pretty dope. But overall, they freaking nailed it. This looks fantastic. So the whole figure aside, the one thing, and I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about, the one thing that is just like astounding about this is the face sculpt for Elizabeth Olsen. It looks identical to her. And just for reference, there's the package, the art, and there's her face. It looks so, just the resemblance is uncanny. Again, another amazing photoreal head sculpt from Hasbro. I'm so impressed. The eyes even look just fantastic. They don't look like derpy at all. Little bit of paint like speckling on the face, bound to happen. And I don't think it comes off. No, not really. Looks like it's there, but barely noticeable. Man, just the contours of the cheeks, everything looks so good. The headband looks fantastic, and the sculpting on the hair is so good, man. We get a nice dark wash in there, and they get that red kind of hair that Elizabeth Olsen has in the show, and it's just phenomenal. It looks like she came right off the screen. I'm so impressed with the sculpt work and the paint. A plus, plus, plus. So the other thing about this figure that is important is the fact that this is the first time we've gotten the MCU Scarlet Witch in a comic book accurate costume, or reminiscent of a comic book costume. And they did a really good job interpreting that onto a figure. I'm very, very pleased with it. Overall, I think the paint work is very clean. The speckling throughout the costume looks fantastic, just the overall design work. And the line work is pretty consistent too, even on the hands. Look at the lines there, how consistent that is with the hand and her forearm. Very good. The back piece again is a soft plastic, so it doesn't really get in the way of articulation. You can see even the sculpting here is just incredibly clean. Little bit of bleeding there, but overall it's like just spotless. All the line work is fantastic. The designs look really, really good on the pants, that fabric kind of material. It looks very realistic, man. I'm just impressed. And even there we get a little bit of metal paint that came out kind of shit. It didn't totally come out great, but I think I could probably fix that with a little bit of time and a lot of patience. But those are two things I don't have, so I'm not doing that. It doesn't bother me. But overall, I'm just incredibly impressed with everything. You can see your little necklace piece there too. Looks just absolutely fantastic. Another thing too is the skin tone is kind of like matte. It's not all glossy or funky looking. I know some of the Black Series photoreal sculpts got some glossier looks on the face, especially with that Endor Han. And this is just perfect. It looks like flesh. It looks great. I'm very, very, very pleased. I don't know how many times I can say it, but you get it. I'm pleased. The only thing I think they kind of dropped the ball on that would have been very cool, because so many of these Disney Plus figures and new figures are getting the pinless tack. Would have been nice to see some pinless legs, but I'm guessing this is reuse. I don't know from what body, honestly, but it is reuse because they have the pins there, I think. Let me know if it is or isn't, but I think it's definitely reusing some parts. I could be totally wrong, but either way, if it isn't, I don't know why they included the pins. I guess it's not a big deal because it's black. It's all black. So they do blend in very nicely, and when behind this skirt, like, you won't notice it too much. But it would have been a nice detail. Otherwise, so far this figure is absolutely perfect. I literally have no complaints with the overall sculpt and paint. I'm very, very impressed. They even included like a little dimple for her belly button. I don't know. Weird. But it just looks like a freaking good figure, man. And I love too with the sculpting, these lines are all raised. Look at that. Just an amazing addition to the MCU shelf. Very pleased. So, with her articulation, again, it has a dumbbell joint and the neck is kind of in a pocket in there just to make her articulation a little more, I don't know, realistic looking. However, with this hair, her head ain't going to go back at all. But with that swivel here, that cut, it's still not, it looks kind of funky. I don't think anybody looks up like this. That's goofy. But so you won't be able to get her in any poses where she's really looking up high. But I mean, the girl can fly, so why would she have to? She can just fly right up, whatever. Again, this is also a soft plastic too, so that's good. And I'm sure you could take this off if you just wanted a plain old Elizabeth Olsen head, but I love that tiara, headpiece, whatever it is. It just looks freaking fantastic. Whoa, we got some paint problems there. Bummer, man. But overall not terribly noticeable. The head does have a little bit of a pivot, again, kind of restricted by the hair, but it does look forward quite far and does have some realistic movement, especially with the neck moving as well. So I like the fact that they took the time to do that. It definitely shows some care and motivation and progressiveness in their molds. So that's cool. So the arms go up about that far. There are no butterfly kind of joints. Interesting cuts there too that are very round. They look good. I really dig it. They do go all the way around. Of course, there is no bicep swivel, but there is a swivel at the elbow. No double jointed elbows, sadly. Just a single joint that goes quite a bit past 90 degrees actually. So that's very nice. I'm not too disappointed with the lack of double jointed elbows when you have articulation like that. And the joint colors are very good too. They blend in very nicely. Obviously, rotation at the hand, a hinge, as you can see, and the hinges do move in different directions. So that one goes up, this one goes over to the side. Definitely some magic zombie-like shit going on. That's very creepy and cool. I love it. Look at that. It just looks, it's so reminiscent of the show. I dig it. So that diaphragm kind of swivel going on there, the ab swivel goes about that far forward, very far back, but there is quite a bit of gappage there, unfortunately. I'm not sure if that would have hindered the articulation or not. I don't think it would have, but you can even see back there that peg that's holding these two together. So it's kind of unfortunate. But there is a tilt there, a swivel. Very nice little bit of a pivot. And a rotation as well. No rotation at the waist. I believe you grab the legs. Nope, no rotation at the waist. So again, really not a big deal. Goes forward about that far. Pretty long legs. Goes back, like not at all because of this skirt, but you can kind of push it back still. It just goes right back into place. So whatever. Legs go pretty far out with the skirt, though they will go a bit forward when you're putting them outward, so it's kind of a bummer. But they do go out pretty far. Skirt aside, obviously they're going to go way the hell out there. It's Marvel Legends, man. There is a rotation here at the thigh, double jointed knees as well. And there's no rotation below the knee. Or is there? No, there is not. I love when they do that. I mean, I know it's not super realistic, but I just think it adds a lot of posing capabilities, a lot more freedom. I like that. Don't feel as restricted. There is a hinge at the ankle and a pivot as well, and it kind of snaps and pops into place. As you can see, there's some ridges there on the joint, so it keeps things nice and firm, so you're not going to get loose feet. So I think, for the most part, you probably won't get loose feet. So, again, great attention to detail on this girl. They did such a good job. And again, sometimes Hasbro really drops the ball with female figures, but lately they've just been knocking it way out of the park. Very, very good job. I just want to say, even the greatest poser knows that a figure with heels is no fun to pose. I did not mean for that to rhyme. I'm not that fucking lame. But she stands really well. And she does have heels. Little bit of a heel, more of a boot, but it's raised up. And with the skinny legs and stuff, sometimes it's just kind of tippy, wobbly. But man, does she stand really well. Even just relative to other figures, she stands pretty damn well. So I'm very pleased with that. So for a size comparison, here she is next to the U.S. agent, who I put the Endgame Quantum Suit Cap shield on, and the Black Widow movie, Crimson Dynamo Wave, Black Widow, who also looks fantastic. All of these look fantastic. Who am I kidding? And as you can see, I think the heights are pretty accurate. Looks pretty damn good. I don't know the exact heights of these two, but her heels are quite a bit raised. So another figure that has heels that actually stands pretty damn well. So here she is next to Loki and Xian Ling. I hope I'm saying that right. And as you can see, they're about the same height. They both have some more boot-like shoes with a little bump on the end. And then you have Loki in his nice suit shoes, his fancy dress shoes. And as you can see, Tom Hiddleston is quite a bit taller than these two. And he is a tall guy in real life. So I'd say these heights are very accurate. And I really hope we get to see these two interact at some point. That'd be so badass. So, in my opinion, this figure is like, really close to a 10 for me, man. She looks amazing. My only thing is that the skirt is, it's a soft plastic, but it definitely hinders the articulation. And that's a bummer, but there's no way around it, in my opinion. Unless you use cloth, but you'd sacrifice such a good-looking figure for posability. And if you're going to sacrifice sculpt for posability, I personally don't want it. I prefer to have a really good sculpt on top of very good articulation even if the articulation is pretty restricted. So I'd rather have a little bit of restricted articulation for a good sculpt. So I'd say this figure is like a 9.5 out of 10, if not a 10. Really, it's personal preference, but I love this figure. I'm very impressed with it, and I think it's so far the strongest out of the wave in my opinion. But I still have not picked up the Winter Soldier and the Vision. So I'll make my final call after that. But I'm very, very impressed and highly recommend you pick up the Scarlet Witch. And again, the sculpt work, the face just looks, all of it's perfect. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this review. Stay tuned for more content. I have more reviews coming. And please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if I'm saying Xianling right. Please, for the love of God, I need to know. Anyways, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay on the hunt and the lookout for these guys. Have some fun doing it, and please don't harass Target employees. And make sure you get vaccinated. If you're going to go in and not wear a mask, please have a vaccine. Don't be a dick. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.